Hello and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up. My name's Andrew and I'm glad to have you here with me. This is where I share my thoughts, rating, and review following my most recent reaction or watch-along video. To find these reaction and watch-along videos, please visit @SeenEverything over on YouTube. Please be sure to click the follow button here on the podcast, and for those listening on Apple Podcasts, a rating and review would be greatly appreciated. And now, on to this episode's wrap-up for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Well, that was certainly a unique experience, even among Quentin Tarantino movies. What I was trying to say before is that I wish there had been some kind of wrap-up at the end. They were doing all this stuff before where they were telling us over certain periods of time that passed, like when he went to Rome and all of that, what happened. A lot of times you can have those things at the end where it says this person went on to do this and this person went on to do that. A little, just even freeze frame with a text card that said, Rick Dalton went on to star or co-star in the next big Roman Polanski movie, and it really springboarded his film career into legitimate American cinema or a legitimate international cinema. And that Cliff went with him the whole way. I mean, I guess he would have to be doing stuff that called for a stunt double for that to be the case. If he's doing dramatic things and stuff like that, I don't know if that would work. They were talking about Roman Polanski having directed Rosemary's Baby. I don't imagine there were a lot of stunt doubles in Rosemary's Baby. Anyway, getting back to the actual movie. I think that this is an interesting genre, or I don't know if it'd be a full genre of its own or maybe a subgenre of storytelling, is historical fiction. And I know there's a lot of this that happens in written work. I wonder how all of you out there can help me if there's other good historical fiction movies that you like that are out there that I probably don't know about. Take a factual event, take it a different direction based on something, some divergent event happening that didn't really happen, but it's like, hey, what if this happened instead? I know they're out there. I know I probably know some that I've forgotten. You have certain historical fiction that's more kind of voyeuristic, just to kind of show you what happened. Like, for instance, Titanic would be a good example. It doesn't really change anything that happened as far as the historical information we have of what happened with the sinking of the Titanic, but you have this fictional story that happens in the midst of it. And you see that a lot. Like, you see that with war movies and stuff like that, where you'll have a story that happens within World War II or something, say. It doesn't change what happened in World War II most of the time. I mean, Inglourious Basterds did, but you have a fictional story that takes place to kind of show you even all of these different things happening in this historical event. Forrest Gump was that way. He was like this tour guide through all of these different major historical things, like actual historical things that happened. And Inglourious Basterds obviously kind of took its own direction, but this was really a thing where it's like, here is a historical event that, for people who know this, they know how it happened. And here is the moment, like even for me, even for somebody who doesn't know the actual history of this very well, that's obviously the moment where things diverged. Rick Dalton didn't really exist, so there was nobody to go out and do that in the real story, yell at them, make an impression, kind of send them back to kind of regroup what they were going to do, and end up changing their plan. But really kind of the interesting idea of, take this historical event, what if this one thing had gone different? What would have happened? I think that could be a really interesting idea to explore for lots of different major historical events. So please share with me in the comments if you know of other ones, of other films in particular, that have done that. I know there's got to be tons of books out there that have examined that kind of idea. As far as this movie itself, how much did I enjoy it? I was iffy in certain places about how much I was enjoying it. I've heard people who watch this movie say that they love this movie, or that I had one person comment that this is their favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. They might be watching right now. I don't know if I can say this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. It's certainly very unique, which is saying something for Quentin Tarantino, to still be able to do something that you don't necessarily expect. I did really enjoy it, and I'll say that I enjoyed it more probably in the latter half. I mean, that makes sense. It's when a lot of the action starts happening in the latter half than I did in the first half. The first half was a lot of setup. The first half, there was a lot of kind of more drawn out slow moments. You were really trying to get a sense of who these people are and where they were in their life at that time, so that you can really establish the world so all of this stuff can happen. But just kind of the details of the story and kind of the energy of the story ramping up, leading up to the conclusion. I really feel like they paid everything off well. I really feel like for people that are used to a Tarantino movie carrying a certain amount of violence, and not feeling like they were getting that. The one thing I'll say is I feel like they kind of paid off all of that in one moment as opposed to spreading it out throughout the movie. I mean, the Kill Bill movies, you have that in various points throughout. Pulp Fiction, you have that various points throughout. Reservoir Dogs, maybe not. Maybe that's another one where most of the violence is kind of condensed to a certain area. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched Reservoir Dogs. But you know what I mean. I feel like, Hateful Eight even, it was spread out more than that. So this, it really didn't have any violent moments until it kind of all just happened right at the end. But it made sense for the story and the way they told it. But I did really enjoy it. I think everybody did a really good job. I thought it was interesting, the idea, again, like Margot Robbie playing Sharon Tate, but then she goes to see her movie, or like they were interspersing, it seemed like, the movies and footage of the real people with the people that were playing them on screen. So I thought that was an interesting choice. But as far as rating this movie, I think I'd give this movie 4 stars. It was very enjoyable. A great addition to Quentin Tarantino's unique library of movies that he's created. I believe he said this was the 9th film. He said something about we're supposed to get 10, and then he's going to retire from making movies. I don't know why you'd ever retire if you're enjoying making movies. Really glad that I was able to finally watch this. I have now officially seen all of the Quentin Tarantino movies, even though some of them I haven't seen in quite a while. I hope we'll explore some more of them out here on the channel. Thank you for being here with me today to watch it. A reminder to watch the full-length watch-along. It's available for free, at least right now as of the recording of this video, over on the Patreon. Really appreciate it if you take a look over there. Got full-length watch-alongs. We're going to have exclusive television watch-alongs over there. Really appreciate it if you go have a look. If you'd be so kind, please go ahead and rate, comment, and share this episode of the podcast. Really helps me out here. And I will see you on the next reaction. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for listening to the I've Seen Everything reaction wrap-up. Again, to find these reaction and watch-along videos, please visit @SeenEverything over on YouTube. Please consider following the podcast, and for those on Apple Podcasts, a rating and review are always appreciated. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll meet you here on the next episode.